इसे उनके सामने लगाना है लास्ट में।
Srila Prabhupada ki jai.
Panihati Chinadai Festival ki
Alright, Chaitanya Prabhu, this is a nice place for chanting Hare Krishna. Thank you for inviting us. Vishnupadaya Krishna Pristaya Bhutale Srimati Bhakti Vedanta Swami Iti Namande Namaste Saraswati Devi Gauravani Pracharate Nirvishesha Shuddhavati Paschatradeshakarate Jaya Shri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Sri Advaita Gadadhara Srivasati Gaur Bhakta Vrinda Haripad Haripad Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Ram Ram, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Ram Ram, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Ram Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Ram Ram, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Hare Hare.
Krishna Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Ram Ram, Hare Hare.
Harinam Sankirtanya Jai Ki Jai, Shri Gaura Nitai Ki Jai, Gauri Bhakti Godhead Ki Jai, Gaura Premanandi. Anyone like and know Badahari Prabhu? Badahari Prabhuji. He's a great kirtaneer. So we have a melody that he sung for many, many years. It's very sweet.
Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Hare Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Hare Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare. Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Hare Hare Rama, Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Hare. Zero. Hare
I was not told something. Harichandra Prabhu did not tell me that everyone was such good dancers over here. We could have come yesterday. Haripad. That was ecstatic. Now one more nectarian melody we'll play and sing. Whoever said that was very smart. Who said that?
Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Krishna, Hare Hare, Rama, Hare Hare Rama, Rama Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Hare Hare, Rama Rama Rama, Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Hare Hare, Krishna Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Hare Krishna, Hare
His divine grace of Charan Arvinda Bhakti Vedanta Goswami Maharaj, Srila Prabhupada ki jai. Jayo Vishnupad Paramahansa Parivrajacharya. Asto Tar Sata Shri Srimad His divine grace. Srila Bhakti Siddhanta Saraswati Thakur Prabhupada ki jai. Ananta Gauri Vaishnava Vrinda ki jai. Namacharya Srila Haridas Thakur ki jai. Prem Sikaho Sri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Sri Advaita Gadadhar Srivas Adigaura Bhakta Vrinda ki jai. Sri Sri Radha Krishna Gogopina Shamakunda Radhakunda Giri Govardhan ki jai. Vrindavan Dham ki jai. Mathura Dham ki jai. Mayapur Navadip Dham ki jai. Ganga Mai Jamuna Mai ki jai. Tulsi Maharani Bhakti Devi ki jai. Samaveda Bhakta Vrinda ki jai. Nitai Gaura Premanande. All glories to the assembled devotees. All glories to the assembled devotees. All glories to the assembled devotees. All glories, Sri Sri Guru and Gauranga. So, we have chosen the best dancers. I know this is dangerous to say like this because everybody was dancing, the ladies were dancing beautifully, the men were dancing beautifully. But I want these two right here, this gentleman and this one, you stand up and take a I'm going to take him to Udupi with us. Udupi, they can dance Okay, 11:30. So, we can announce what she's going to do.
So thank you, Prabhuji, Mataji, for such a nice, ecstatic kirtan. We'd all been getting feedback till now that let's have some electrifying kirtan. So the desires of all the devotees have been fulfilled. Are you all happy? Do you want more?
We want to come every week now.
You have earned this. So now we are going to have a short presentation on the Panihati festival by Mataji. Let's all hear her and let's hear attentively, and if we have any questions we can also ask. Thank you very much. Hare Krishna.
So, I only speak English with an American accent. Is there anyone who cannot understand me? Please raise your hand so we can have a translator come and sit with you and give you a translation.
अगर किसी को किसी दूसरी भाषा में अनुवाद चाहिए तो हाथ उठा सकते हैं.
Okay?
Everybody speaks Kannada? Nobody. Oh, we have one. Yeah, I forgot. I can't.
Does everyone have Sri Chaitanya Charitamrita in your home? Okay.
We can
Make sure.
memorize with that.
Yes. Please make sure you get these books. There are 17 volumes in the original version. So this is the life of Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. Chaitanya Mahaprabhu is Krishna himself. He is a covered incarnation, a secret incarnation, who came only 530 some years ago to West Bengal. And he propagated the chanting of the Hare Krishna Maha Mantra. Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Before we speak, we offer respects to our spiritual master. Oma Gyanatimirandasya Gyananjana Shalakaya Chakshurunmetamina Tasmai Shri Gurave Namah. I was born in the darkest ignorance, and my spiritual master opened my eyes with the torch of knowledge. I offer my respectful obeisances unto him. And there's a little song that Srila Prabhupada taught us when he introduced us to this wonderful book of Chaitanya Charitamrita. He taught us how to chant. Jaya Jaya Shri Chaitanya Jaya Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, the Supreme Personality of Godhead, to Lord Nityananda, who is Lord Balaram, to Advaita Acharya, who is Lord Vishnu. He is a combined incarnation of both Lord Vishnu and Lord Shiva. To Gadadhar Pandit, who is Srimati Radharani and also Rukmini Devi, and to Srivas Thakur, who is Narada Muni. Together, these five are called the Panchatattva. So our story begins in a place called Saptagram, or 7 villages. This is a place on the eastern coast of India. It's in West Bengal. And at this time, 500 years ago, the place was ruled by Muslims. So there was a Muslim Chaudhuri who is a tax collector, and he was collecting the taxes in Saptagram. He would collect 2 crore of coins. Then he would give 3/4 of that to the government, and he would keep 1/4 of it for his personal use. This was the arrangement made by the government. Now there was one very wealthy family of businessmen. They belonged to the Kayasta community. The Kayasta community were known to be very intelligent and very expert, first-class business people. There was one person in this Kayasta community. His name was Govardhan, and he had a brother named Hiranya Das. Govardhan had a son named Raghunath Das. Raghunath was very intelligent, and he was very handsome, very good looking. He was an expert businessman, but in his heart, he was completely detached from the material world and everything in it and everything about it. He was in love with Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, and he wanted with all his heart to surrender to the lotus feet of Chaitanya Mahaprabhu and to serve him with all his energy. But his parents were not of the same mind as Raghunath. His parents wanted him to be a materialist, to become a very good businessman, and to have a nice wife and many children, so that he would give them many grandchildren. This was their idea of happiness. So Raghunath, he kept in his heart his desire to go to the lotus feet of Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. And in the meantime, he cooperated with his parents. But sometimes he became restless, and he wanted to go to see Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. So one night, he got an idea. I'm going to run away. So he ran away in the night, and his father caught him in a faraway place and brought him back. This became almost a daily affair, until one day, Raghunath got an idea. He went to see Nityananda Prabhu in the town of Panihati on the bank of the Ganga. When he reached that place, Nityananda Prabhu was sitting on a rock underneath a tree on the bank of the Ganga. Nityananda Prabhu's servant said, "Oh, look, here is Raghunath." Nityananda Prabhu said, "Oh, you have come to see me. Come here, come here." And Raghunath, he offered his obeisances from a distant place. He would not go near the Lord because he was too humble. But Lord Nityananda said, "You are like a thief. You have come here to see me, but you stay at a distant place. Now come here." Still Raghunath would not come. So then Lord Nityananda forcibly grabbed him and brought him and put his lotus feet on the head of Raghunath Das. Nityananda Prabhu said, "You are just like a thief. You have come here to see me, but you stay at some distant place. So today I will punish you. I have captured you. Now I shall punish you. Arrange a festival for my associates. I want you to feed them chipped rice mixed with yogurt and sugar and bananas." And when Raghunath heard this, he became very happy. He immediately sent his own men to the village to purchase yogurt and sandesh and sugar and milk and chipped rice and many other types of eatables. So when they brought these things, Raghunath placed them all around. Nityananda Prabhu changed his cloth to a new cloth. He sat on a raised platform, and all the personal associates of Nityananda Prabhu, who were all cowherd boys from Krishna Leela, they got up on this raised platform and they sat in a circle around Nityananda Prabhu. There were also many brahmanas and other gentlemen who heard about the festival, so they came there. And Nityananda Prabhu honored them all by having them sit up on the raised platform with him. Now the word got around quickly to the other villages. And many people came, and all the merchants came to sell their wares. So many merchants came, bringing chipped rice, yogurt, milk, sugar, bananas. So there was one brahmana who was very expert in cooking. So Raghunath Das, he obtained 200 to 400 earthen pots. He also obtained 5 or 7 huge earthen pots. And in these huge earthen pots, this brahmana, he started to soak chipped rice with hot milk. After the chipped rice was soaked in the hot milk, then he separated half of the chipped rice into some of these large pots and half into the rest of the large pots. In half of the large pots, the chipped rice was mixed with yogurt, sugar, and bananas. In the other half of the pots, the chipped rice was soaked with condensed milk and ghee, and they added sugar as well, and camphor. And there was a special kind of banana called champa kala. In Bengali, kala means banana. So champa kala was a very special type of banana. So in these 2 sets of pots, all this wonderful chipped rice was soaking. Now, every one of the visitors was presented 2 pots, 2 clay pots, small, individual size. In the meantime, there were other people still coming from outlying villages. And as Raghunath Das saw that the crowd was increasing, he sent for more boga, more eatables from other villages. So other merchants brought their chipped rice and yogurt, etc. And Raghunath Das purchased all of it. Everything. He purchased all of it. And the cooks were, mixing it in, making all of the chipped rice and yogurt and condensed milk into wonderful foods for the devotees. So now there were people that were sitting with their 2 pots. One contained chipped rice with yogurt, the other contained chipped rice with condensed milk. Many of them were crowded onto the raised platform with Nityananda Prabhu and his associates. Some of them could not fit, so they sat at the base of the raised platform with their 2 pots. Some of them could not fit even around the base of the platform, so they went down on the bank of the Ganga and started soaking their chipped rice there. And even there were others who could not even fit on the land, so they went out into the water and started eating their chipped rice out there. When Lord Nityananda saw that everyone had their 2 pots, then in meditation he called Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. Chaitanya Mahaprabhu arrived there, and Lord Nityananda stood up to greet him. They looked around, the 2 brothers looked around. They saw all the people enjoying their chipped rice. And Nityananda took Chaitanya Mahaprabhu all around, through the crowds, and out of each and every pot, he took 1 morsel of chipped rice and pushed it into the mouth of Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. Chaitanya Mahaprabhu took a morsel of food from every pot and he pushed it into the mouth of Nityananda Ram, and he laughed. Now no one could tell what was going on as Nityananda Prabhu was walking around among the people. But there were a few very fortunate souls who could see that Chaitanya Mahaprabhu was actually there. So then after they finished wandering among all the devotees and stealing little bits of chipped rice from their pots, then Nityananda Prabhu arranged a sitting place to his right-hand side. And he put 4 large pots in front of Chaitanya Mahaprabhu's sitting place. He invited for Chaitanya to sit down. Chaitanya Mahaprabhu sat down. And in these 4 large pots were chipped rice mixed with yogurt and also with condensed milk, but the chipped rice had not been prepared from boiled paddy. It was first-class chipped rice, and this was offered to Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. So when Nityananda Prabhu saw Lord Chaitanya, eating chipped rice, he became very happy, and he started to feel different kinds of ecstatic love. Nityananda Prabhu turned to all the devotees and he said, all of you eat very heartily and chant the holy names of Hari. Hari, Hari. All the devotees called out, Hari, 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 so loudly that it was heard all over the universe. Hari, Hari, Hari. So, after Nityananda Prabhu and Sri Krishna Chaitanya Mahaprabhu finished eating, they both stood up and washed their mouths and hands. Then all the devotees, as they finished eating, they washed their hands and mouths. Nityananda Prabhu took his personal associates and he went to the house of Raghava Pandit. Raghava Pandit had come earlier and he had laughed heartily to see the goings on and all the funny happenings there. He had brought prasad with him and he had fed all the devotees. But he also told Nityananda Prabhu that I have cooked for you at my house. So Nityananda Prabhu had told him, I will come to your house in the evening. But for now, let me peacefully sit here by the bank of the river with all my friends. I am a cowherd boy, and all my friends are cowherd boys, and we're used to having picnics on the bank of the river. So we want to stay here. And even while they were sitting there with Chaitanya Mahaprabhu and all the personal associates of Lord Nityananda were there, they actually saw the Ganga as the Yamuna. But after they had all finished eating and washed up, so Nityananda Prabhu was then ready to go to the home of Raghava Pandit and satisfy him by taking prasad at his house. So they all started to go, and when they reached Raghava Pandit's house, which was not very far away, Raghava Pandit showed Nityananda Prabhu where to sit, and Chaitanya Mahaprabhu came there personally to take prasad at Raghava Pandit's house. When Raghava Pandit saw Lord Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, he was very happy. So he invited Chaitanya Mahaprabhu to sit down in his place. Every time Raghava Pandit would make an offering to his Krishna deity, he would set aside a separate offering for Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. So this was normal. Chaitanya Mahaprabhu knew where his place was. So he sat down there. And Nityananda Prabhu sat next to him. And all the devotees sat down to receive prasad from the hands of Raghava Pandit. There were so many kinds of prasad that nobody could count them all. Raghava Pandit's sister Damayanti was famous for her devotion to Chaitanya Mahaprabhu and for her cooking. So after they had all eaten, then Raghunath Das was told by one devotee, you now please take prasad. And Raghava Pandit said, no, he will take later. So Raghava Pandit made sure that the two lords were lying down peacefully and receiving a massage after he had given them garlands and sandalwood paste and regal nuts. So now the lords were resting and all the devotees were enjoying prasad. So Raghunath Das approached Raghava Pandit secretly. He said, my dear sir, will you please implore Lord Nityananda Prabhu on my behalf. I know that if one gets the mercy of Lord Nityananda, then and only then can he get the mercy and the shelter of Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. So will you please speak to Nityananda Prabhu on my behalf and kindly ask him to talk to Chaitanya Mahaprabhu and implore him to give me shelter. I have tried so many times to come to Chaitanya Mahaprabhu's lotus feet, but every time I failed and my parents took me back and kept me in material life. Please, please, lay this prayer at the lotus feet of Nityananda Mahaji. So Raghava Pandit promised to do so. So when Raghava Pandit got ready to go, Raghunath Das said, "Wait, sir, I want to give you something." So he gave Raghava Pandit some coins, 100 gold coins. And he also gave him some loose gold. He told him, "Now please distribute this among the followers of Nityananda Prabhu." So then Raghava Pandit and Raghunath Das made an agreement how to divide up the money and give it to Lord Nityananda's devotees. So then Raghava Pandit approached Nityananda Prabhu and he laid the plea of Raghunath Das at the feet of Nityananda Ram. When Nityananda Prabhu heard the prayers of Raghunath Das, he said to his devotees, "Just see, Raghunath Das has the same opulence or even greater than Indra, the king of heaven. And his wife is as beautiful as an apsara. But he is not attached. He only wants the mercy of Chaitanya Mahaprabhu." So then, you all please bless him. Nityananda Prabhu asked all the devotees to kindly bless Raghunath Das, that he would very soon get the shelter of Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. So all the devotees blessed Raghunath Das that he would very soon attain the shelter of Sri Krishna Chaitanya. And then Nityananda Prabhu told Raghunath, "Now you go to your home. You pretend and play just like an expert businessman. And very soon you will attain the shelter of Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu." So Raghunath Das was very happy. And before he left, he was packed up with all kinds of prasadam by Raghava Pandit. And on his way home to Saptagra, he was very happy, very light-hearted. When he got to his home, his parents were very happy. His wife was very happy. But he didn't enter the inner chambers of the house anymore. He just slept on the Devi Manda. And one day, he decided, for sure, he was going to escape. At night, his Guru Maharaj, Yadunandan Acharya, who was actually initiated personally by Advaita Acharya, and whose life and soul was Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. He had taken initiation also and achieved the shelter of Vasudev Dutt. Even though Yadunandan Acharya was a Brahmin, he had taken shelter of Vasudev Dutt, who was not born in a Brahmin family. But because he understood the scriptures properly, he knew that when one is a pure Vaishnava, it doesn't matter what kind of birth he has taken, he is worthy to take shelter of. So Yadunandanacharya was very dear to Raghunath Das. And one night, at the very beginning of the Brahma Muhurta hour, 96 minutes before sunrise, Yadunandanacharya came to the home of Gopinath and Hiranyadas. He stood in the courtyard, and Raghunath was awake. He saw his Guru Maharaj. He went and paid dandavats to his Guru and stood up with folded hands. Yadunandan said, Raghunath, there is one Brahmin who has been taking care of my deity, and he has left his service. You please come and convince him to resume his service. So Raghunath said, certainly I shall come. So they left the courtyard, and by this time of the night, all the watchmen who had been keeping a close eye on Raghunath Das had fallen asleep. So there was no one watching, there was no one following. So as Yadunandanacharya and Raghunath proceeded toward the east, they were halfway toward Yadunandan's house when Raghunath turned to his Guru and he said, Guru Maharaj, why don't you just go home and peacefully carry on with your duties? I shall go to the home of the Brahmin and convince him to come back to serve your deity. So then Yadunandanacharya blessed him and he went home. Now, Raghunath Das understood this was the mercy of Nityananda Prabhu. He had now gotten a chance to escape. So he quickly went toward the east and he traveled constantly and very fast. He traveled 30 miles in one day. And in 12 days, he reached Jagannath Puri. So do the math. He was walking constantly for 360 days, and he only ate for 3 days out of 360 miles, excuse me. 12 days at 30 miles per day. And he was barely able to eat anything. He didn't care. Sometimes he got a little milk. He would sleep in the barn of a milkman, and the milkman would give him some milk and he would sleep. Sometimes he would eat some fried grains. Sometimes he would cook. But he ate very little. He mostly fasted on his way. But he didn't care about his hunger. He was just thinking of the lotus feet of Chaitanya Mahaprabhu along the way. So when he arrived in Jagannath Puri, he went immediately to Chaitanya Mahaprabhu and he bowed down at a distant place. One of the devotees said, "Here is Raghunath." And Chaitanya Mahaprabhu immediately went to Raghunath, and Raghunath touched and clasped the lotus feet of Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. But Lord Chaitanya made him stand up and he embraced him. So all the devotees also stood up and they all embraced him, having seen the mercy that was bestowed upon him by Lord Chaitanya. So Chaitanya Mahaprabhu sat back down and he had Raghunath sit down and he said, "Swarup, I want you to take charge of Raghunath. He has been enduring such hardships for many days. You please take special care of him. From this day forward, he will be known as Swarupera Raghu. I have 3 Raghunaths among my associates. So this Raghunath, he will now be known as your Raghunath, the Raghunath of Swarup. And he told Gopinath, I think it was Gopinath. Gopinath was cooking for the devotees, for the Lord and the devotees. And he told Gopinath, you take special care of Raghunath Das, make sure he puts some fat back on his body, make sure he gets enough to eat. And so every day for 5 days, Gopinath was, it was Govinda, I'm sorry, it was Govinda. Govinda was taking care of Raghunath and feeding him every day. Then Raghunath said, okay, I am fine. Now I will go to Jagannath Puri temple and I will see Lord Jagannath and I will beg at the Singhatwara. So from that day forward, he started to beg at the Singhatwara, where the pujaris at night, they come out. And if they see any Vaishnavas begging, then they ask the shopkeepers to please make sure he gets something to eat. So Raghunath did that for a few days. And Chaitanya Mahaprabhu was very pleased with him. And then Raghunath started to think, actually this is not proper. I should not be begging like this from the pujaris. So then he decided, okay, I'm going to go to the prasadam booths. In Jagannath Puri they have booths where people who are poor can come and beg some food. So he decided to do that. And then Chaitanya Mahaprabhu was very, very pleased with him for his austerity. So this is the story of how Raghunath Das Goswami became one of the most intimate associates and servants of Sri Krishna Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. All glories to Raghunath Das Goswami, all glories to Lord Nityananda Ram, all glories to Sri Krishna Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. Hare Krishna.
If anyone has any questions, they can ask. Okay, if there are no questions, any questions?
Okay, for no question, I will ask you. Maybe Prabhuji, if you can tell.
If it's a hard question, she can answer. If it's an easy question, I'll be happy.
See, all of us know that you are a disciple of Prabhupada. So tell how you got associated in your first few days and some asking.
I believe the question is, you wanted us to say a few words about the opportunity that we found in our life somehow, in some kind of a miracle that we met Srila Prabhupada. That conversation could go on for a long time, but I think we only have a few minutes, so I'll just briefly say what happened to both of us, because initially I didn't meet Phalini Devi until some years after I had been a brahmachari. For 7 years I was brahmachari. But Cupid, I don't know why he was picking on me, but Cupid was shooting me with these very sharp arrows. After that 7-year period, I thought I was going to be a sannyasi, some great sannyasi. But the arrows were so sharp and the blood was so much flowing that I had to submit that I have to be married. But Devi and I didn't know each other initially, but what happened is she saw some television program that she was watching, and two devotees had been invited by the person who was running this program, this television program, and Devi said she was completely fascinated by these devotees. The man was wearing beautiful cloth and had his wife, and she was dressed nicely in a sari, and after the program was over, she managed to find out where these devotees were and how she could maybe get some information. She ended up going to an airport about 2 hours away. She met the same devotee, one of the same devotees that was on the television program. She met them in the airport. This devotee was distributing books. So she bought a book from the devotee, began to read it, and she asked her brother to drive long ways, about 2 hour, two-day drive to take her to the temple in Los Angeles. So she joined in around the middle of November. She joined into ISKCON, and Prabhupada came either that time or just in a few days later. Prabhupada came. I was also not knowing her at that time. I was a single man. I had a house I was buying, and I had a business, and I was interested in understanding who Jesus was praying to, because we were Christians. So she and I were, although we again didn't know each other at the time. So I was always praying to Jesus. Who are you praying to? Because Jesus was praying, Our Father who art in heaven. He was praying to the Lord, but I couldn't find in the Bible who this Lord was. So I happened to go to a friend's house, and I was curious about his book, so I was looking around. And I saw this one book, I was reading it sideways. It said, Bhagavad Gita as it is. I asked my friend, what in the world is this book? I never saw something like this. And he said, well, it's kind of like a Bible, like a Bible from India. This is kind of like a Bible from India, this Bhagavad Gita. So I said, oh, let me read it. I want to find out some things about God. So I borrowed his Bhagavad Gita as it is. And I went home, I closed my business down, I locked it. And for 3 days, I read the entire Bhagavad Gita, 900 pages from the very first to the end. I don't think I ate. I'm not sure, but I didn't eat much. I just read for 3 days. And as soon as I understood that Krishna was God, I finally found out who Jesus was praying to. Jesus was praying to Krishna. Krishna is the Supreme Lord, and Jesus is the Son of Krishna. So I was so happy to find that out after these 3 full days of reading the book, that I looked in the back hurriedly, and I wanted to find some phone number. There happened to be about 5 or 6 temples in California, so I called the first one. I said, I just met this A.C. Bhakti Vedanta Swami. I just read his book. I want to meet him. Is he at your temple? He said, no, but you call in Los Angeles, in Culver City, you call there, he's there now. So I thanked him, and I got on the phone, and I called the next devotee, picked up the phone, and I said the same thing. I just read Bhagavad Gita, I'm very excited, and I want to meet this Bhaktivedanta Swami. They said, yes, he is here. He'll be here for some time. I said, okay, don't let him leave. I'm coming right now. So I got in my car and drove all night long to go to be to the temple, and I spent 3 days there. You have to understand that I was a hippie at that time. Hippie, Prabhupada said hippie means something extraordinary. So I had hair this long, and I had a big beard, and I wore some saggy kind of clothes. And so anyway, I went into the temple for the first time. I sat down among all these other devotees. I listened to Prabhupada give Bhagavatam class. I stayed for 3 days, and at the end of that time, actually what happened is after that first day, I saw all these brahmacharis there. They were all wearing saffron, and they all had completely shaven hair and nice shikas, And I had this beard hanging down and this long hairs. So the person who let me stay there for about 3 days in his home, named Jivananda, he allowed me to sleep in his house while I was here at the temple to meet Prabhupada, or at least see Prabhupada. So I asked Jivananda, I said, I feel a little awkward with this big beard. Do you have a razor? I don't have one. He said, yeah, you can use my razor. So I shaved all of this hair off, and then I just twisted all of my hair and put it down the back of my shirt so no one could see. So I felt a little more comfortable. And so those 3 days I got to sit in front of Prabhupada and listen to him speak and meet his devotees. And at the end of that 3rd day, I drove back up north, another 6-hour drive. And the next day I went to my business place, I opened it up, I looked both ways at all the things I had there. And after the experience I just had meeting Prabhupada, I closed the doors and I locked them and I said, I'm not going to do this anymore. So I started wearing tilak around town. I had taken some tilak. My friend Jivananda gave me some gopi chanda. So I was putting this tilak on, and I borrowed something like a machine that you can cut your hair with. I borrowed that and I cut all my hair except for my shika, and it was about this long shika. And so with tilak and with the shika, and I started wearing robes, and I called Jivananda and I said, I just joined this guy. I want to do some service. Let me serve. So I read a book and learned things. She read the book, a book that she got from the devotee. She read that. She joined 3 weeks before me, so she's my senior. Now we're married for 38 years. We're happily serving Prabhupada by traveling all over India, mostly by the trains. And we love meeting devotees like all of you wherever we go. The biggest problem is that there's many of you and only 2 of us. So wherever we go, they come up and say, oh, Haripad, Prabhu, Phalini Devi, do you remember me? Do you know how many thousands of devotees we were seeing on here? It was so difficult to answer them. But we had to say, I may remember you, I may not. Give me some help. Tell me where I met you. Because otherwise, so many devotees, so hard to keep it all in mind. But anyway, I won't go further than this. It could go on and on, but we were blessed to meet Prabhupada, and we're blessed to serve him today after these 46 years. And we're happy to, I've been speaking with Hg Prabhu, and we're planning to come to Bangalore more often if you'll allow us to come. And we can come here. I'm sure he'll give us a chance again to come here. I didn't know you were all going to be such good dancers, so we'd like to come here as often as possible. Srila Prabhupada ki jai. There's too many other things to tell about Prabhupada. We'll do that on another occasion.
So we will now proceed towards the final part of the ceremony, which is Pushpa Abhishekam. Along with that, we will have some more kirtan, and after that, we'll have prasadam. And if all of you have any questions, again, after the kirtan, you can approach Prabhu and Mataji and ask.
So we can go ahead and start. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna,
Krishna Krishna Hare Hare Srila
Making us realize the ecstatic world of Kirtan. We request you to come here very often and we will dance more. Just some quick announcements. But before any announcement, we would like to thank the entire team which was involved in setting up this nice arrangements, right from the Prasadam team to the team which set up this entire place along with the sound system and everything. We'd like to thank all the senior devotees who have come here to bless us. Hg Phalini Mataji, Srila Prabhu, Hg Prabhu, Baldev Prabhu, Virendra Prabhu, and all the people who made this day special by blessing this place, by coming here. And we'll like to especially thank the deities who have arrived here today, Gaur Nitai and Sri Jagannath Baldev Subhadra and the Panch Tattva, and the servants of these deities who have very painstakingly brought them here and let them see the dance and the kirtan here. Thank you very much to them. Some announcements. Today we heard the beautiful Gaur Katha about how the Panihati festival was celebrated and how it gave so much bliss and joy. The birthplace of Lord Chaitanya is Mayapur, and that place is spiritually surcharged with the same joy. And we are all having a Mayapur Yatra in October during the Dasahara time from October 6th to October 11th. So we request all of you, many of you have already registered for the Yatra, but if you really want to continue having the same experience which you had here, in the association of many more devotees who are actually relishing this Gaur Prem, please come to Mayapur, register for the Yatra. You can contact me wherever I am. You can just approach me and I'll make all the necessary arrangements to take you to Mayapur. Second, on the 6th of July, we will be celebrating the Rath Yatra festival in our center, ISKCON Whitefield. So we want to extend this very warm invitation from our side. All of you, please come, see the Rath Yatra, enjoy the Ratha, pull the Ratha, see Lord Jagannath on Ratha, and have very nice prasad and kirtan with us. And from next week onwards, we will be kick-starting the Janmashtami meditation series, where every week we will assemble here, we will discuss Krishna Katha, and we'll also be very meticulously planning how to execute and how to plan for the upcoming Janmashtami. We all have a lot of services and we all have to participate in that. So with this we would like to although we don't want to we end this session, but all good things should come to an end. So we have to end this session here because Prabhuji has other commitments in other places and he has to travel back. So we'd like to formally end this session here. Please don't leave without having prasadam. And all those who want to seek some blessings or who have any personal questions, Prabhuji is here for another 15 minutes. You can approach Prabhuji and Mataji and discuss your queries. Thank you very much. Hare Krishna. Can we all chant one Hare Krishna Mahamantra for the good health and the same spirit of traveling all around the world which they are exhibiting right now, even in this advanced stage? Can we all chant from the bottom of our hearts as a gratitude? Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Mataji, Prabhuji, we seek your blessings so that we can congregate more, do more kirtan, dance more, and read more Prabhupada books. And may we all achieve some taste in chanting the Hare Krishna Mahamantra. Please bless us. Thank you very much. Hare Krishna.